Incremental ratings. So basically, I want to share with you about the learning Decalog. Turns out I already did a video, a 3-hour video, a 3-hour long video. Oh my god. Feel free to check it out if you want very in depth of each point. But I will take my liberty to use the last one. Mnemonic Decalog is the last point with which itself is a decalog, kind of meta, I know, and it has nothing new. It's basically a strategy with mnemonics to remember the rest of the decalogs. So what I'm going to do is to use this one instead as the very short, to the point version, if you don't want to watch 3-hour videos. Let's go. No pain, no gain. You need consistency. You need to use Supermemo every day or kind of every day. Not necessarily the same amount. This will be established by yourself. It can vary. And this consistency cements the specialization principles. Because if you miss many days, what's going to happen? It won't be optimal. But hey, this is best if you use it again this Friday. Oh, I have my Friday off and all of the weekend. I will do it on Monday. So therefore it won't be as optimal. Rule number 2. Too much pudding will choke the dog. Focus on applicability. Yes, you have a tool that you could, if you want, you could memorize hundreds of thousands of facts. Doesn't mean you need to do it. Focus on relevant knowledge, something you can apply. And don't focus on the details first. First on the overview, the big picture, and then dig into the details incrementally, because the details, remember, are diminishing returns. And this will prevent overwhelming. Too much information overload, too many repetitions to do, and so on. Rule number 3. More haste, less speed. What does that mean? Avoid overwork. Try to cram too much, too fast, leads to burnout. So, just start easy. Even if you spend 3 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day with Supermemo, that will be enough. Because if you want to start like crazy 5 hours or 3 hours, most of your skills will be at a noob level. So you'll have a lot of volume of stuff to read and to process, while your skills are still very green. Not because you do more, it's better. Usually it's the opposite. Incrementalism for the win. Look before you leap. Assess your readiness. So when you create items, is this item flashcard clear? Basically, it is simple enough. Take it simple. Actually, the aim is simplicity. That doesn't mean it's simple to do. Actually, it's the opposite. The result of your learning and understanding in a flashcard format or in the written format means a lot of process, means you have mastered or really understood that. Why this matters? Because you want to prevent frustration. Because usually you will be that there's a tendency to overestimate your capacity. I was very guilty of that myself. Rule number 5. Small is beautiful. Keeps your item simple. Once again, but everything. You want absolutely spot on simplicity in the sense of atomicity. One idea only. There are only the words strictly necessary to convey the idea, so you have an opportunity to recall that. Oh yeah, I'm using the question as a way to navigate that memory. And cover all important angles. That means that if you need more details, there will be more flashcards. And now I ask the year, now I ask who or when, Or I create some redundancy, which doesn't contradict the minimum information principle. So I have different angles of the same exact information. Rule number 6. A stitch in time saves 9. You use mnemonics, so if let's say you lapse a card, it's I didn't latch it yet, but I'm lapsing it. Ask why. Oh, it's I genuinely forgotten. Because we are human, it's a human error. Or, oh no, it's because it's not that well formulated. or it's ambiguous how it's formulated, I thought this, not that, or you can use already is mnemonic techniques. You identified, hey, this item will be harder than usual to remember. Let me use mnemonics. I don't use mnemonics preemptively for everything. That will be not optimal. But as an alternative, is hey, let me use mnemonics, which is a little bit of extra at the beginning, but you save more time. Because remember, you more or less have, most of the time, let's say half, is the creation of the element and the first repetition. And the rest of the repetitions will be the other half. It's the same thing, because if you will lapse that card, you'll do more repetitions because you'll reset the item. That justifies putting even more time commitment at the beginning, so you use mnemonics. Rule number 7. All troubles come from ignorance. You need to concentrate. It's very easy or very tempting to go autopilot, especially if you only do flashcards. You don't integrate flashcards with topics. Do autopilot mindlessly. You're just wasting your time. This is easy to do. This is easy to say. It's extremely easy to do, or at least extremely easy for a person who doesn't sit to make this. Hey, there are those two versions. You're doing autopilot, and the difference is huge. It's extremely hard for me to make that person become aware of that. So no pun intended, say what, aware. So every question has meaning. You have an interaction, a meaningful interaction, not just a repetition. So don't see it as a repetition. It has to be pleasurable. It has to be an opportunity, not a repetition. It's a new opportunity to remember this. It's a new opportunity to have something new in my collection, not a new repetition, if you will. Nothing succeeds like success. What does that mean? Find pleasure in the process. If it's not pleasant, there's no pleasure, it will be a grind. And it's just a matter of time that you will feel exhausted, burned out, and want to move on. If you don't find pleasure on the process, something is not right. You're not studying, you're not learning what you want. You have a coercion, basically. You have deadlines, you have a curriculum to go through, both together, and so on. If you're doing what you want, get help or tutoring. Then, rule number 9, healthy fresh nurtures a healthy spirit. Corpore sano e mente sana. So basically that, you want a healthy brain. But to have a healthy brain, you also need a healthy body. You cannot neglect the body. As easy as that. You may have seen that the most brain activity is after some mild walking, stuff like this. If you really ignore this, please watch the long format, because there's plenty of stuff. And then finally, forget about forgetting. Or make memory a choice. You review the rules, the 20 rules of formulations, even those rules of the mnemonic Decalog. And feel free to use Supermemo for this to go meta. Why? Because if you keep this in memory, frequent recall of these guiding principles will ensure you practice them routinely. And that is the key. The key is not that you know the learning Decalog. What's important is that you know and you put it into practice. You apply it. This is just 10-minute videos. It's just a 10 minutes video that it will save you years of wasted time doing cramming or inefficient methods for learning. Best version ever. And if you want, check the long version of 3 hours. See you there, or see you incrementally.